Hey folks, this is Kalani. The Essence Grind has been a hotly contested topic recently, partly because the system as a whole was designed to take a very long time to complete, and partly because there's nothing that helps you get alternate characters caught up. Anyone returning to the game for the first time in a while will also find themselves significantly behind, but there may be hope. Some essences will have their grind nerfed quite considerably, so it won't take nearly as long to get all 3 ranks of specific essences, which might open the doors for a few more changes to the system going into the last patch of Battle for Azeroth. Let's start out by going over the essences that are going to be easier to acquire in patch 8.3. There's a handful of them this time, and some of them are the more annoying ones to get your hands on. All of the Nazjatar and Mechagon reputation essences will be obtainable a lot faster in 8.3 when compared to right now. So that's the Well of Existence, the Nullification Dynamo, the Purification Protocol, the Unbound Force, Aegis of the Deep, and the Ever-Rising Tide. There's 2 components required to get these essences and their higher ranks. For rank 1 you need to be honoured, for rank 2 you need to be revered, and for rank 3 you need to be exalted with the appropriate reputation, and then you also need to earn enough currency to actually buy the ranks you want. The first part of this equation is being knocked down a notch, so in patch 8.3 you'll only need to get to revered to purchase the rank 3s of all of these essences. That means if you're only interested in the reputations for Nazjatar and Mechagon because of the essences they have on offer, you can actually stop at revered and get everything you want. Well, that is if you don't care about rank 4s anyway. Those haven't changed at all. They still only come from the Paragon boxes after you get exalted, so this is only really a catch-up or a speed-up for ranks 1 to 3. This is actually a pretty substantial nerf to the grind for these essences. Getting to revered doesn't take too long at all when compared to getting to exalted, so anyone who wants to rank up these essences on an alt or a new character should find it much faster overall. Well, it's going to be faster getting to the required reputation at any rate. You won't see any changes to the currency requirements for the essences and the rank ups. I wouldn't be surprised if you actually managed to reach revered with these reputations before being able to collect enough mana pearls or Mechagon tinker materials to actually buy the ranks you want. If you're looking at purchasing multiple essences to swap around your roles, that's going to take even longer. I wonder how much of an impact this is going to be. I hit exalted with Mechagon before I was able to buy a single rank 3 essence from them, and I actually wanted both the tank and DPS essences from that reputation. I didn't get the DPS one until weeks after I had the tank one, which was a couple weeks after I hit exalted. So be prepared for a grind even if you do get the rep requirement fairly quickly. I don't think mana pearls will be as problematic as the Mechagon currencies, thankfully, so the essences that come from your Nazjatar reputation should be a lot easier to pick up. The main reason these essences have been changed is because both Nazjatar and Mechagon zones are going to be outdated content when patch 8.3 arrives. We're done with the Jara, we won't be running through the Eternal Palace anymore, all forms of gearing and progression in these 2 zones will be overshadowed by everything that's new in patch 8.3, and the super powerful benthic gear isn't even going to work anymore because we're no longer in the appropriate zone. There's just no reason to go back there when the next content drop lands, but because of how the essence system has been set up, it's the only place to get a good chunk of the essence collection. Each essence interacts with classes in different ways, so depending on what you're playing, the essences from these zones could still be your best in slot. That's not too problematic for anyone who already has those essences, but for anyone wanting to change character and play something new, or for any player who is rejoining the game for patch 8.3 after a break, you're going to have to spend a lot of time catching up to everyone else. Spending a lot of time in outdated areas of the game is never going to be fun, mainly because they're usually empty and void of life, so these nerfs make a lot of sense, but they're more of a band-aid than an actual attempt to fix the issues that a lot of players are complaining about. I can't count how many posts I've seen on Reddit this past week talking about account-wide essences or catch-ups for alts. Give us something. It seems like the dev team realizes that there are issues here and there, but the changes for reputation are the only real update we'll be seeing for the essence grind. Now there is one more essence that will be a bit faster to acquire in 8.3, the Memory of Lucid Dreams. This isn't quite as dramatic or impactful as the rep changes, but it should shave a few days off of your grind at the very least. Rank 1 of Lucid Dreams comes from the Nashatar intro quest lines, so you'll still have to get that done, but rank 2 and 3 come from gaining bodyguard experience with your new faction friends in the underwater zone. Okay, I guess they're not really that new anymore, but you'll have to take a bodyguard out and finish the 3 daily quests related to them, and that's 300 bodyguard experience per day if you do get all 3 done. For rank 2 of the essence, you have to farm up 3,000 experience across all of your bodyguards, and for rank 3 it's 6,000 experience. If you just do the bodyguard dailies, that's another 10 days for rank 2, and then 10 days on top of that to get to rank 3. The changes for patch 8.3 take the rank 2 requirement down to 2400 bodyguard experience, which shaves 2 days off that grind, and the rank 3 requirement has been shifted down to 4800, which will save you 4 days total on the bodyguard experience grind. So instead of 10 days and 10 days, it's now 8 days and 8 days. The change from Exalted to Revered rep is going to save you a lot more time in comparison, but shaving any time off of the essence grinds is always a welcome change for me. I've done the vast majority of them already, and doing it all again on an alt definitely isn't appealing, but maybe I can get through the bodyguard one knowing it's going to take 4 days less time overall. These nerfs are more aimed towards returning players rather than giving your alts an easier time following in the footsteps of your mains. It's going to be a welcome change for anyone returning for sure, but I still think more could be done to help get alts caught up. There's a difference between allowing players to catch up with old content that they've never done before and forcing players to repeat massive grinds for each character they want to keep up to date and play on a regular basis. I've looked at my Shadow Priest several times thinking, yeah, I could have a bit of fun with this, and then I log in, realize I don't have any essences, and log off. It's just not worth it to me to go through the reputations, the currency grinds, the raid grind, the PvP grinds, island expeditions, the bodyguard stuff. It's just a huge list that I've already gone through once. Doing it again isn't going to be fun, and playing the priest honestly isn't worth the effort. I did the same thing with my mage, except playing that seems like it could be a whole lot more fun, so I did something different. I looked into what the best essences are, and I'm working towards getting just those 3 at rank 3. That's still kind of annoying because I have to do the Lucid Dreams grind again, but I'm getting there slowly but surely. Even that one essence grind was enough to make me think twice about picking up the mage again, but thankfully the other 2 essences that I need are fairly easy to get, and that's what I keep telling myself. But making that choice to completely ignore the other essences because I hate the idea of retracing a lot of the work that I've already done highlights some of the huge flaws in the essence system as a whole. Those flaws become gaping holes when they're locked behind outdated content. I guess it depends on which essences you're going after. If you want to play another character but hate the idea of grinding essences again, have a look at what essences are the best ones for the alt you want to play. The Crucible of Flame, for example, is really easy to rank up. You just have to level up your amulet and complete the story quests associated with the essence. The Mythic Plus dungeon essences are also decently easy to get to rank 3, just finish a plus 10 or above key 3 weeks in a row, and that's your rank 3 essence done. You also get rank 2 super quickly whenever you complete a plus 7 dungeon in time, so you don't have to rush to rank 3 for this essence to be useful. The Island Expedition essence is kind of hit or miss. It's not hard to get, it's just time consuming. You have to do your islands a few weeks in a row, so if you like islands, this is another super easy essence to get. If you hate islands, well, I guess it's good news that this essence isn't all that great to begin with. But the Eternal Palace raid essences, the Mechagon dungeon essences, the Old Reputation essences, and even the Bodyguard experience essence, they're all going to take a long time playing through outdated content, even with the nerfs. It's also probably going to be difficult finding a group to do the raid or dungeon with because the only people who will be interested in that content are the players who still need the essences. There's almost no other reason to go back into that content which will artificially extend the grind for the essences locked behind it. It could actually take new players or alts significantly longer to get those essences in patch 8.3 when compared to right now. If you can't find a group at all, you're just out of luck. There's no other way to progress towards those specific essences and their rank ups. So if you're looking at playing another character in 8.3 because you think they'll be more fun in the Horrific Vision system, or they fit better with the Void theme, have a look at Warcraft logs to see what essences people are running with your specific class. Make a note of those and then check some class guides and resources to see what other essences might be a good pickup as well. If the raid or Mechagon dungeon essences are included, it's probably a good idea to get them done before 8.3 launches while people are still running that content. The reputation and bodyguard essences will be faster in 8.3, but you'll still need to farm up the currency. I would say work towards Revered right now, but mostly focus on collecting the currencies, and then when the patch hits, you just need to pop up to Revered and you should be good to go. That's really all you can do to help get your alts caught up, because as of right now, we won't see any more changes that make the essence system more alt friendly. If the alt you want to play has some of the harder essences to acquire, I'd look at exactly how bad the grind is and decide whether it's going to be worth it in the long run. I am a little confused as to why they're maintaining their position on the essence grind so stoically. For one, this is the last patch in battle for Azeroth. When 9.0 comes around, all of our essences are going to be kind of meaningless anyway. They said at BlizzCon that the visual effects might still work and we can show off all our rank 4s still, but they won't actually do any damage or have any effects in Shadowlands. I'm not sure if that's for the entire Shadowlands expansion or just when we hit max level, but in Legion our artifacts were stripped before the leveling experience began for BFA. They might do the same thing for Shadowlands. If this is the last expansion where we'll actually get to use essences, why do they have to be such a huge pain in the rear to get on multiple characters? I kind of understand wanting to keep it somewhat of a lengthy grind for players who haven't done the work before, even though I think forcing people into old content isn't super ideal when the entire game is based around scrapping previous patches the moment a new one comes out, but it should be different for alts. I wonder how many players would pick up a second or third character and start gearing them up, working through dungeons and Mythic Plus, and progress through the raids again if they were able to use the essences they had already unlocked on their main character. I know personally I'd be having a lot more trouble sticking to just one character because I always enjoy playing my alts, but this patch specifically has locked me down to my Demon Hunter. That's probably a good thing for my productivity, but I'm definitely not having as much fun in World of Warcraft because of it. I'm also not looking at taking any of my other characters into patch 8.3 for the same reasons. Now, there may be a bit of a saving grace for some players out there. Patch 8.3 will be introducing new essences for us to get our hands on. I know what you're thinking, doesn't this just pile more time gating and grinding on top of the essence grind that is already pretty crazy? Yes it does, but all of the new essences will come from current content in 8.3. That means as long as you're taking part in the various new systems and features in 8.3, you should get these essences almost without trying. The essence system actually works incredibly well to incentivize you to take part in various types of current content, but the key word here is current. It kind of falls apart when you lock something behind outdated content, and the way World of Warcraft patches are set up these days, anything that isn't the latest patch is automatically outdated. But the new essences come from the new quest lines and storylines. There are some tied to reputations, but only the rank 3s. There's an essence just for the Horrific Visions feature, and the new raid will have an essence too. So while there is going to be another grind for essences in 8.3, you'll already be doing most of the stuff anyway. The essence is just going to be the gravy on top. Some of them look like they're going to be pretty powerful, so hopefully if you're a new player returning to the game for 8.3, the newer essences will be the ones you're going after, which means you might not have to pick up as many of the older ones at all. That would save you quite the grind, but it's going to depend on simulations and testing of those new essences when the patch goes live. They could all be awful, in which case you won't even care about the current content essences, and all of your best in slots are going to come from outdated content. That's going to be weird if it does happen, and it's the main reason why this system doesn't really work well across multiple patches without catch-ups for alts or returning players, but we'll have to wait and see how all that pans out. The new patch does also bring a 4th essence slot onto your Heart of Azeroth, so the chances of you needing one of the old essences is still pretty high. But that's all of the catch-up mechanics planned for the essence grind in patch 8.3. How do you feel about the essence system going forward into the next patch? Do you think they should have made the entire system account-wide, or do you think no catch-ups is a good thing? Which essences do you think need a catch-up mechanic the most? Leave all your thoughts in the comment section below. A big thank you to all of our supporters over on Patreon. You can see their names floating by on screen. If you want to join these lovely guys and gals, you can find a link in the description below. Remember to leave a like just below the video before you leave, and if you want to see more, make sure to subscribe. But apart from that, thanks for watching folks, good luck and have fun, and as always I will see you next time.